Want to bring in retired Brigadier General Blaine Holt of the U.S. Air Force and Newsmax contributor. Also with me is Charles Marino, a former senior advisor for the Department of Homeland Security, as well as a Newsmax contributor. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be with you.
Olivia.
You know, I never thought on a Sunday afternoon I would be talking to the American people about being flambéed, right? About cannibalism. Yeah. But this is a real threat. And General, I know you remember all too well that you just heard it there. Trump warned us about Haiti, talked about it with Hillary. He got a lot of criticism, a lot of blowback for it. What do you make of Hillary Clinton, and the Clinton Foundation? Where did all the billions go? I don't understand how this happened.
Well, we don't know where the billions went, but we certainly know what the outcomes were. Human trafficking, a country that had gone from Somalia status into far worse. And now it's nothing but a Mad Max hellscape where they've opened up the prisons, and we're going to see these brutal gangs join the rest of the gang here. Millions of fighting age men that have been allowed into our country from every terror group around the world. And we're left here to pick up the pieces, and we don't know where this is going to go. We just understand that now we're in a new place with cannibalism. Are you kidding me? And all of this stems from a common denominator. No one is ever held accountable for these crimes. No one. You go back to the Clinton Foundation. You go back to all the lies. And here we are told on this morning still that Ukraine is our #1 issue facing the United States in the security realm. And we don't stand by our ally in Israel. And yet we leave ourselves vulnerable. And Governor DeSantis, God bless him, that's not nearly enough that he's going to have to put up on that border to defend his state, because bad stuff is coming. This is just a bus stop on the way to a dumpster fire.
A total dumpster fire. Charles, this sounds like something out of a movie. Congressman Corey Mills helped airlift author Mitch Albom, his wife, and 8 other volunteers of his orphanage who had been sheltered in place there in Haiti. On the matter, the congressman tweeted, "This recent mission reiterates a disturbing reality that under President Biden's leadership, American lives are continually jeopardized. I have conducted rescue, evacuations of Americans multiple times, and Joe Biden has deserted them. There's a clear pattern of abandonment." Charles, why doesn't Joe Biden care about Americans, right? We still have hostages in Israel. He doesn't mention them. Instead, Kamala Harris, she's going to an abortion clinic, right? We saw what he did to our allies in Afghanistan. There is no possible way to vet the people coming across our border. What are we supposed to ask them? Hey, do you eat people? Are you a leg guy? Are you an arm guy? I mean, seriously.
Well, the reality is this. Nobody is being vetted coming from these types of third world countries, because the vetting is only as good as the systems that you vet against. And the truth of the matter is many of these countries don't have systems or infrastructure where they keep track of people, or the countries don't share information with us, like Iran, China, Russia. So we don't know any information about the people that are coming into the country, which means if they haven't been encountered by U.S. military or intelligence officials, we're not going to have a record of them. Now, as far as this impacting regular Americans, of course it is, because the elites are walking around with their government-provided security details. So they're not worried about this. They're separated from it. They're secured from it. So, look, if Americans have to handle, if somebody like a Laken Riley has to be killed over these policies, that is acceptable to the Biden administration. And he's proven this fact to the American people. So we're really on our own. And in your monologue, you brought up the case. States are having to take action. Florida and Governor DeSantis are going to have to protect their own state because the Biden administration has abandoned their federal responsibilities since day one.
I don't know what else to call it. I mean, he's not upholding his oath of office. In general, the right arm of the Biden White House, it's MSDNC, it's CNN, it's all these left-wing publications. And of course, they're coming out. There's no such thing as cannibals, right? It's all hype by the right-wing media. You saw that article headline I mentioned. Right. Am I correct in my assessment that perhaps they don't understand the brutality of what is really happening, or are they willfully ignorant to what is really going on and what is coming across this dangerous element that is coming here into the United States?
No, they're carrying the line. It's just more dragging their lunchbox into a studio, saying the common script that's been issued to all of them from the administration. They work hand in glove. Let me tell you where that changes. We're about to see some really bad stuff in our cities. There's just no way around it. I don't see a reverse gear on this, and I'm not trying to fearmonger, but the cocktail just has all the recipe items in it. And so when some of the media types that have been towing this line find out that their own lives are vastly different just in getting to work, they might have a little problem with their integrity looking into a camera and trying to tell the American people something different than what we have already known for months. The administration is in violation of Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution, and that is the responsibility to protect the states. The 10th Amendment there, in my view, the state's sovereignty or the state's rights should trump the administration until such time as they're back within the four corners of the Constitution. You're seeing Texas and Florida act on this, but I think that more states are going to have to start considering this, and maybe it's time for a constitutional sanctuary.
Charles, before I let you go, real quick question. About 200 miles from Haiti is Guantanamo Bay. The Biden administration, there's been talk to use it to process Haitians trying to come here. It was used for the same purpose back in 2010 as people tried to leave after that devastating earthquake there. Now, Dominican Republic, it's been turning away Haitians. What do you think the right move is for the United States? I'm guessing it's not incentivizing them to come here, giving them luxury hotel stays and $1,000 debit cards.
Well, look, they've exploited all the legal pathways into the country, including refugee status and parole, which means if they're going to offer parole to all of these Haitians, then they're going to be allowed into the country. A spot like Guantanamo Bay makes sense. But if you're going to consider that U.S. soil and then continue the path of letting them into the country unvetted, then nothing's going to stop that. And this is the typical MO of this administration.
All right. Thank you so much, General Holt. Charles Marino, for everything. Thank you.